Kerry fires Charlton up the table. Welcome back to Where Addicks Walk with myself, Luke, and today we have got Dave, Steve, Timsy, Alan, and Flatty. Sort of, he's on his travels, so he'll be popping in and out. We'll be talking all things Charlton, including this week's A to Z and tweet of the week. So, Alan, another great game, 3 points.
Yeah, that's all we can ask for at this stage. Just keep getting the 3 points. Don't know what Barry Bannan was thinking about pinging the balls in the first half to the ball boys. I don't know if he didn't like the ball or anything, but yeah, brilliant. Another good result.
Yeah, definitely. Dave, what do you think, mate? Was it a game that I think everyone was a little bit nervous, weren't they, Sheffield Wednesday, especially with the Barry Bannan, but obviously kept him quiet?
Yeah, to be honest, Sheffield Wednesday, considering what they've been through, we all know about that. It's public. But I think, again, it seems to be a bit of a thing about Charlton at the moment is that there's teams there for the taking. And I think, we went 1-0 up. Kerry, fantastic goal. At 1-0 up, he could have put a ball through to Kelman to probably finish them off. And then, we could have been 3-0 up at half time and finished off the team, finished off the game. But I just think we just lack that little bit of composure, when it comes to it. And it invited on the second half, which, to be fair, Sheffield Wednesday, they've got a young team. They do press very well. And, we were hanging on towards the end, in all fairness. And, you got to give credit to Sheffield Wednesday, considering the circumstances that the whole club is going against.
100%.
But, win's a win, 3 points, onwards and upwards. We're in the top half of the table. We're in a better position than those teams that were promoted above us. So happy days.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now let's look into some of the star players over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, Kerry, Steve, that's got to be one, isn't it? He's the one that's getting you goals at the moment.
He's doing the job. For me, so far, 10 games in, but he's my player of the season so far from what we've seen. He kind of came in a bit under the radar. We had bigger other names that we kind of probably fans got a bit more excited about with Kelman and Nibs and Carey's doing the job like week in, week out. He's just he's getting goals. He's hassling. He's everywhere on the pitch. He's looking like a real find for us that could potentially help us push further up the table. He's well up there. And Bree's come in out of nowhere. That was just a loan signing that's absolutely doing fantastic at the minute. And Burke as well. He got the other goal, the winner yesterday. He's looking really solid after he's obviously came in. He had his injury issues when he first arrived. I think everyone was a little worried off the back of his time at Luton, where he'd had a few niggles as well. So yeah, he's looking really solid, and he's keeping Ramsey out of the team, which is impressive in itself. So we've got a few players that are really doing the job. We just need a little bit more up front.
Yeah, true. Let's take a moment, Timsy, to talk about Bree. I mean, as Steve mentioned, it was a sign that sort of happened fairly last minute. It came a bit out of nowhere, and what a player he's been for the Addicks.
Just amazing how quick he just slotted in. I mean, with probably working with Nathan Jones previously, it probably helped a lot. But the way he just slotted in and just had an instant impact when he came on, and since he came in for Aptar, who was, I think most of us would say, has been playing pretty well. He won previous before Bree coming in, he won Player of the Month that month. So for him to come in and just done what he's done so far with goals and assists, but also the defending, he's just up and down that side amazingly. He's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all hope to put keep him beyond January. Would be absolutely lovely.
Yeah, definitely. He's been a very, very important player. Flatty, what do you think? Who else? Obviously, we mentioned Bree, we've mentioned Kerry. Who else has been an important player so far this season?
Other than those two, of course, I think Lloyd Jones. Lloyd last year was one of our star players. We always question when you go up a league, can he handle the better divisions strike force? And he's been outstanding. I mean, there's not many balls he doesn't win in the air defensively. He's solid. You never worry him about him making a mistake. And I think when you put him alongside Maka, who I think has done very well since coming back in, and Burke, what three big centre backs we've got who are absolutely flying when we're getting corners and set pieces. You wouldn't want to defend against those three. Probably makes up for the lacking height of Charlie Kelman up front. But Lloyd Jones for me. I think we probably mentioned most of the team. You can't ignore Connor Coventry, an absolute diamond in the middle. But I've got a nosebleed. We're at ninth in the championship, and I've got a serious nosebleed. It's worrying.
I said early doors. I can see playoff places could be a possibility. It's looking good. Right now we need to move on to something else that I've seen sort of in the news lately, just regarding other teams, and it's about the crest, about the sacred crest, the sacred badge. It seems like a lot of teams are looking at modernising the badges, and whether it's for merchandise, for the actual kit, all these different things. And I want to talk about how important is the badge to you. We'll go with Alan. He's wearing it proudly on his chest there. For you, mate, how important is the badge?
Well, I hope they don't change. I've got a tattoo of it on my leg, so yeah, it's everything. I mean, I know they modernised it with obviously Timsy's shirts. So if he's just got the sword, as long as he's got the hand and the sword, and it stays there, it's the pride. It's what we know as Charlton. Definitely. I mean, this goes back to the obviously late 90s. We got first promoted. So
well, I think it's important, isn't it? It's not just. It's more than a badge, isn't it? It shows the heritage, doesn't it, Dave, of Charlton and what they've been through before. It holds all of that at the crest. Yeah,
definitely. And I think a lot of clubs have tried to modernise it, and it becomes pretty much simplistic, I think, in terms of design. And I think when it comes to an away kit, have as much freedom as you want with the badge, but when it comes to your home kit, make sure it resembles your tradition, and because that's what it's about. It's a tradition of your club.
Yeah, I'm with you with that one. Like I said, the away kit and all the fur kits, obviously a lot of that is just for money reasons, isn't it? Get the old increase of the dough. But yeah, the home shirt, like I said, it's sacred. It means a lot to us fans. Right, let's now move on. So we have got two games quite quickly coming up. So we've got Ipswich away and Hull away. Two tough away games, Steve. We'll chuck it to you first for predictions. We'll go with you for the Ipswich game, if that's all right, Steve. So what are we expecting from the Ipswich game?
A very tough one. I mean, if you take it back 12 months, you've got Ipswich in the Premier League and us struggling in League One. So the fact that we're playing in a league fixture and giving ourselves a chance now because of the way we're performing in the team that we've got, it screams about how well we've done as a club over the last year. I think this is going to be our biggest test to date, including the likes of Leicester. I think Ipswich, they've got their issues. They've got a couple of injuries and that, but I think they're going to be a real stern test, particularly at home as well. So I'd be happy coming away with any point from that one. I think a point would be a great result for us. If a 1-1 draw or even a 0-0, I'd be more than happy with. If we were to sneak it, that would be phenomenal. That would be a real statement win if we were to sneak it. But yeah, I think this could be our toughest test to date.
Okay. So we go 1-1, Steve. Should we you going to slam that down?
Yeah, I'll go 1-1 and Carey to continue his scoring.
Love it. Timsy, what about you? We'll go with Ipswich away for you as well, mate. What's your score predictions and how do you think the game's going to go?
Well, I think it'll be one of them games where we don't have much possession and we'll try and control the game from our shape and probably the turnovers and hopefully the press as well. I think we'll probably line up the same. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't. I can't see us changing the lineup from yesterday. So it's going to be a tough one, and I'll be happy with a point. I will take a point right now, but it's one of them games where we do like the bigger games, and we do seem to turn up for the bigger games. It's some of the lesser teams who sort of struggle and then just let them bypass it when it's there for the taking. So I expect us to turn up and give a good account of ourselves, and hopefully, I reckon it'll probably be a draw, but I hope we can nick it.
Okay. So what are you going to go with? Go on.
I'm going to go for a 2-1.
2-1
Yeah.
for the Addicks, yeah? Perfect. Right, Alan, what about you for the whole game?
Ipswich and Hull, just if I can get 1-2 points, couple of draws, be more than delighted. I think if away from home, if you just don't get beat, that is absolutely fantastic in the Championship. And if you can turn up on your own form, and we're pretty good at home, as we know, I think Nathan Jones only lost 3 games in his tenure in his 35 games. So we've sort of pretty solid at home. So if we can win our own games, get points away from home, that is top end Championship form in it. So
yeah, definitely. What's your prediction for the whole game? What's the score going to be? What are you going to go with?
Oh, 1-1.
1-0. Okay.
1-0. Yeah, they're in good form as well. So
yeah, decent. Platty, what about you? Whole way for your score prediction, please, mate.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with a 1-1. I think I hope out of the 2 games we get at least a point. Ipswich is going to be really tough. Both tough away games, but I am hoping for a point from both. I would just add, in terms of who he's going to play, I think he has said that he's going to play different teams. He actually said that on an interview. I think it was Rich Cawley, and so it'd be interesting who he does play. But Hernandez came from Norwich, and he's got a canary tattooed on his arm. And there was a guy who went in the middle of last season from Norwich to Ipswich, and he said if ever he comes up again, he's going to go for him. I reckon Hernandez will be coming on at some point in the Ipswich game. It'd be great to see. He's a
35-yarder.
He's a talent. Yeah, I think he'd be after it.
Yeah, Hernandez versus Nunes. That's the
one.
The game. Right,
Yeah,
now we're on
Nunes.
to the A to Z for this week. So the A to Z this week is the letter C. So we've been following the alphabet. We're on to the letter C. We're going to chuck it to Alan to start with. Who is your letter C for Charlton?
Well, it would only be Alan Kirbishley. We've touched on him previously in the last couple of weeks, and then I thought about George Costa in the game. We touched on him when we he's had his passing, so rest in peace, Tank. But we've touched on you. But it has to be the man of the moment, the love of the life, Sonny Carey. And you'd have to ask my wife for permission for the next part of the song, but I'm sure she'll be up to it if you look at me. So, but yeah, the transfer itself. I mean, he was the first one through the door, like Steve touched on earlier, and the free transfer, and it was big. At the time, there'd be a lot of Charlton fans out there that was probably thinking the same as me. Is this the way we're going to go? Is it going to be free transfers, nicking players on loan? What's the ambition of the club? And then obviously a couple of days later, Fabianski talks through the door and you're thinking, okay, it's game on here. And then obviously they started to throw and back it. But like Steve said, I spoke to my brother and my wife yesterday. I can't remember last time Charlton had a player, probably Conor Gallagher to the younger fans of our generation, but who would like to have a dig and run with the ball. Nicky Bailey before that, he used to do that sort of thing. And for the older generation, you've got Graham Stewart. You remember Graham Stewart used to like to run with the ball and end up in the box and bits and pieces like that. But he's been the best player so far. When Nibs come in, I thought, yeah, maybe he's going to obviously take over. But no, Sonny Carey has to be letter C for what he's doing so far. Like you say, player of the season so far.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Platty, I believe you have one for a slightly different generation. Who are you going with, mate?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'll go with Kirbishley, but we've had him and we talked about the others. A real favourite of mine, a guy called Bob Curtis. Some of you might remember, going back to, he made his debut in 1967, which was the first year that I followed Charlton. Played 11 years all the way through to 1978. I think he played something like 337 league games for Charlton in those 11 years, which is pretty phenomenal. Scored 35 goals, of which at least half would have been for penalties. He took a lot of penalties. Phil Warman at the same time was taking penalties, so some would have certainly been penalties. He sort of played the midfield position. He was called up into the England under-23s, and he got banned by the England under-23s because he turned up on the first day with his hair dyed blonde. and they said you don't do that when you come to England. He got sent home. So he was a bit of a character, Bob Curtis, but he was certainly a favourite. And anyone who sort of followed at the back end of the 60s and through to the mid end of the 70s will probably remember Bob Curtis. Yeah, 330 odd games, got a few crucial goals in that time as well.
Love it. That's brilliant. What a story. Turn up to England with a blonde mop. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine it now.
Right, moving on to tweet of the week. So we're finishing on tweet of the week, which is going to be quite a nice, I think, nice moment from Charlton fans. So it's actually a Sheffield Wednesday fan saying this about Charlton fans. Big respect to the Charlton fans for applauding us during the game. Let's have a little chat. I know you briefly mentioned about it, Dave, but it's a very sad situation they're in. But it shows that, before these football rivalries, we are human and we do understand what other teams are going through.
Well, obviously at Charlton, we've got huge empathy with someone like Sheffield Wednesday. What we went through with Roland Dershalo and the fake shake afterwards. It's just. It's comical errors. We've probably been through a tougher time than them, really. If you look at it, you look back at it. But all respect. Even Nathan Jones was there clapping a bit longer to respect, what the fans are doing for the club. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the fans. And that's what it is. That's why we're here. That's why something like this keeps going, because it's about the fans.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think, Steve? It's Sheffield Wednesday, massive club, isn't it? And to see them in the situation they are, it's sad.
Yeah, they're a huge club. I mean, I think back to the 90s when they were a stable Premier League team, and they were getting to FA Cup finals, and one of my first memories as a football fan watching them and against Arsenal in the FA Cup final back in '93. So they were a real kind of a stable part of English football, and it's incredibly sad to see chairmen and owners running clubs into the ground like they are doing, and just absolutely and beyond the players and the fact that there's all the staff and everyone who are just not getting paid on time, and it's just unacceptable in this day and age that this is happening. I mean, you can't be doing that in any form of business, let alone football clubs, which have such an impact on so many people's lives. And Sheffield being basically a two-team city, that's going to be half of the city that's absolutely devastated with the way things are going. I mean, it's not a great time in Sheffield, full stop, for football at the minute, but it's terrible to see a club like that could potentially be on the brink. We've been on the brink ourselves in the past, back in the 80s and 90s when we were almost going out of business and ground sharing with Palace and West Ham. So we know as fans what it's like to be that close to not having a team anymore. And I'd hate to see it happen to Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, with the exception of anything about Barry Bannan, but the rest of them feel incredibly sorry for.
I echo everything. I think something needs to be done. Something needs to be done beforehand. Something needs to be done within the EFL and the pyramid where it protects the clubs. There's more scrutiny going through the process of becoming an owner. There needs to be something that is there to protect, so people can't get involved and look to ruin the clubs, really. Very good. Well done, guys. I appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody, for watching at home. Please like and subscribe, and please get involved in the comments below.